Yo, man, it's another edition of Insta Chat with the Journalist. I'm Andile, aka the Journalist, and my guest today is none other than Junior Taurus, all the way from Pretoria. And yeah, man, I don't want to call him a legend, but he's a very talented guy, and he's very diverse, His sound is very diverse. He gave us hits such as Mamelodi with Lady Zamar many years ago. Excuse me. And yeah, he's done so much. He's done so much for the game. And I just thought, I should have him on the show and chat to him about, what he's been up to and all that jazz. So thank you so much for joining me on the show. It's going to be a great one. And yeah, I can't wait to chat to Junior Taurus. He's representing Pretoria. So this week, I've been, talking to a lot of artists from Pretoria. I spoke to DJ Sumbody first, and then, yesterday we were supposed to have an interview with the Low Keys, but, the internet was a bit of an issue. So today, I'm having a live chat with Junior Taurus. And yeah, I can't wait, It's another edition of Insta Chat with the Journalist in the car, as you can see. The car interviews are always the best interviews because it's, we're in the street, literally. We're in the street. So, yeah, Junior Torres, anytime you're ready, bro, let's get the show on the road. Brother,
Yo,
Grant.
yeah, sharp me from Inter.
Away, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. I just thought, I should just have you on to just chat
yeah,
to you, briefly just, about your story, because I think, that you are one of the most talented, producers in South Africa, because you are diverse, your sound is diverse. And yeah, man,
yeah,
I just thought, we should just,
yeah.
get a bit of a background on your story. First of all, are you okay, bro? How are you? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm nice. No complaints this side, my brother. Everything's all good.
Yeah. How is Pretoria tonight? Is Pretoria cool?
It's cold. It's a bit chilly. It's a bit chilly, my brother. Ish.
Yeah, winter came early. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no.
a lot of us got introduced to the brand Junior Taurus with the same phrase as Mamelodi. I
Mm,
think many years ago, and I remember, the sound was very deep, very melodic.
mm,
So
yeah.
looking back at that time, of Junior Taurus, of that time, when you came out with Lady Zamar, and looking at your style now. What is the difference between you back then and you now?
Uh, there's a huge difference, and I guess that there will always be a huge difference because back then I was obviously working with a vocalist full time. So every single song that I did it with the 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 notion that a vocalist is going to layer it. And if you work with somebody for a long period of time, your music will always be totally different. And I guess that's why back then a lot of people fell in love with the music that we were doing because it was different, and it was different because I was working with her for a long time before we even started releasing any type of music. Unlike now, where now I work with any vocalist, and it's hard to really create that type of sound when you're working with various artists because you have no idea what or how they're gonna deliver. Well,
No,
yeah.
I hear you. And also, times have changed in terms of like the sound of the music. And
Mm.
one thing that you've always managed to do is be diverse. Like it's hard to kind of like predict. Like listen to a beat, it's hard to say, all right, no, that's a Junior Taurus beat. You get surprised by
Yeah.
the title.
Yeah.
So what is your process when creating music? What inspires you to create music?
Um, Me personally, like most of these songs are like dreams and stuff like that. Or like I get a lot of melodies through dreams. Like I'll just be dreaming about a situation or a festival, and within the festival, a DJ could be playing something, like playing a song, and everybody's gonna react to the song, and I know that okay, that's the melody that I'm supposed to work on. So I guess for me, it comes like that. Like it's not a situation where I need to start working on the beat first or anything like that. You know, especially now, um, because I don't want to really work on something that's never gonna last. You know, it's very important for me to work on music that I'm eventually gonna take out. Because I remember a time, I think from like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, um, one of my hard drives actually crashed. One of my
Yo,
production hard drive. Yeah. And I think at that time I had probably made like 1,000 beats. And it
a
was
thousand
what
beats.
happened, yeah, inside the hard drive. So what had happened is that I tried to recover it, but I couldn't recover. And you know, like after that, I promised myself like I would never really work on anything that I couldn't finish, because a lot of producers, that's our downfall. Like we have a lot of music that we will never ever finish. It's just loops and loops and ideas upon ideas that people will never even hear. You know, so it's pretty pointless for me to start working on something that nobody's gonna hear. You know?
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, sorry about that. It sounds tragic, losing 1,000 songs. But I'm just also like caught up with the part of like 1,000 beats. Like how
Yeah.
long, normally how long does it take you to like create a song?
A full song or just an idea, because that is a totally it's a huge difference. I can probably make 1,000 ideas a year or more, you
Wow.
know. But yeah,
Yes.
in terms of completing a song, it takes a very long time for me to complete a song, unless it's not my song. I'm working on a song for Mang Mang, and this person has a deadline. Then yeah, now obviously we can. If it's a month deadline, then I make sure that within that month I finish that song. But while I'm working on that song, I obviously have other ideas. You know, ideas come. You could be watching, you could be watching a series on Netflix, and you hear something that sparks an idea. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you are like a creative, it it you can pick up motivation or inspiration from anything. So you will you will continuously make music. You know, you will continuously strive to create. And I think also that is the biggest problem, because you need to be creative all the time, because repetition helps you. Repetition is the only thing that can create a great producer or a great artist, because you need to do something repetitively. Like you need to do it all the time, right? So, but also doing something repetitively means that you need to do something new all the time. And that means that you will hardly ever get a chance to finish the project that you did yesterday. You will always make a new one today, you know? So
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword, you know?
No. Makes sense. Makes sense. And Mr. Coolington is adding on to my question. It's like, how long did it take you to finish Settle Down?
Settle down, settle down. I think it probably took 2 months, because Settle Down was actually done a long time before, but I had to change the drums. I had to change the drums and make them, because apparently they sounded like another song. Uh, you know how it is. Like when you work with majors, they have something called like an A&R meeting, where they will play the song and put up the song against other artists and whatever. So the song came back and they said, "Yo, this song is gonna do wonders," but the drums sound like who's song. So I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
damn, okay." Yeah, so I had to rechange that. I had to change the whole structure, well, the whole beat actually. Yeah.
okay. No. I know those politics, and sometimes, they are saving you from a lot of trouble because if the songs do sound familiar or similar,
Mm.
then someone is gonna sue you later on. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
my
yeah.
next my next question, I've always wondered, like, what is it about Pretoria makes, like, I know it's you can't really generalize and say, music from here sounds like this, or people like from here like this, but when it comes to house music,
Yeah.
Pretoria always delivers, quality stuff, even like across from all subgenres, whether it's commercial
Mm.
stuff, whether it's deep house, whether, it's like tech or whatever the case might be, this
Yeah.
like cross, even races, white, black, there's something from Pretoria that makes people create dope house music, and the culture is there as well. Why
Mm.
are Pretorians so fond of house music?
Hey, that's a very good question. And it's a question that I could never ever even try to explain because most of us grew up as Pretoria being number one when it comes to street music.
Mm,
That's what, yeah, music wa thing. Pretoria has always done wonders with that type of music. But obviously, that type of music, the Bacardi ding 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 ding, they
mm,
will obviously influence a lot of other people to create other music. You know what I mean?
mm,
And from back in the days, I've always known that Pretoria has great producers. We've always had amazing producers in Pretoria. It's only now that the shift is now happening. There's a lot of other producers from other neighborhoods that are outshining or that are shining right now.
mm,
And which is not a problem. But to answer your question, I have no idea why it's always been like that. But I grew up as Pretoria being number one, and that's just how it was. You know what I mean? So some of us were actually fortunate enough to create our own sound within whatever what was happening at that moment. You know what I mean?
mm.
To grow that culture that that Pretoria still has number one producers.
Yeah, yeah, and also, just to add on to what you're saying, I also love how the culture is there as well. Pretoria is one place where, as a DJ, you can play any genre and the crowd will react. You
Yeah.
can play like the deepest stuff and thinking, nah, nobody knows this, and the crowd will react. You can play commercial,
Mm.
whatever. And that's what I think
Yeah.
is unique about Pretoria.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. That's true.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
which brings me, to the culture of Pretoria, and I was interviewing DJ Sumbody the other day, and he's got a record label, that you
Mm.
also are part of, So my question
Yeah.
now is like, how did you get to work with DJ Sumbody?
Mm. Mm. Wait, how did I meet? Hey, I've known that guy for the longest time. I've known
Mm,
him just before Mamelodi came out, because
mm.
at that time he was working at what's this radio station? Is it TUT now? 20 FM?
TUT, yeah, yeah, yeah,
One
sorry,
of those
yeah,
two. One of
yeah,
those two. Yeah, he was working there. He was actually a radio host there. So
mm,
he used to do a lot of interviews and ring me up and stuff like that. So he decided to call me privately. He was looking for a song. He wanted me to produce a song at that time, and Mamelodi was not even out yet. And
mm,
that's how I started to know him. That's how we started talking. And over the years, uh, over the years, he had music that he had done with other people, which he wanted to push. And I guess after that project finished and he came to me, this was when we worked on Ayepip. That
mm.
was when I did Ayepip a couple of years back. So ever since Ayepip, I guess I've been, doing production, doing production for his brand.
Mm, mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. Mr. Coolington has another question. He says, your new single with Les T and DJ Testy.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, he wants to know, like, how did that song come about, basically?
It was a mess. It was a mess. We were coming from a gig, or yeah, we were coming from a gig, and I think we were all drunk. I know we had a lot. We had a lot to drink. So I had a beat that when I got to the studio, I had a beat that I was just playing. And long story short, it turns out Lesh had an idea that he had, or he's been having that idea of that. There's a certain word. It says baby don't. Oh, what does it say? let me go. So it's been on his mind for the longest time. Immediately when he heard that beat, he started saying it. So you can imagine at that moment, because everybody's drunk. You know, when you're drunk and you're trying to make music, everything sounds dope. Everything sounds amazing. So that's how the song came about. We recorded the song, and yeah, it's a dope song. It's a really dope song.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. I agree, brother.
Yeah.
You know, and I know, excuse me, 2020, it's been a busy year for a lot of like, producers working on like
Mm.
new music because now you're at home, not a lot of gigs are happening,
Yeah.
and you've been busy as well. So for
Mm.
like in 2020, like what has been the most um I don't. Okay, now I'm realizing that I'm assuming something for you because I assume that you were busy working on a lot of music. But in
Yeah.
2020, what has been some of the
Yeah.
highlights of the work that you did?
I think you must remember 2020 was the most driest year ever because a lot of us didn't do any work. The lockdown lasted a full 6 months, more than that actually, and we were only open. They only opened the country for like 3 months, and just before December or towards the end of December they closed again. So in terms of work, it was not a lot. But I am working, or I have had worked on a couple of projects last year that came out. I co-produced Kidominant and Cassper's Nyovest. What's that song? E-Wallet. There's a song called
Mm,
E-Wallet that I did. And I did a couple of remixes for BOG. And on the song, it's BOG featuring Davido.
mm,
There's a couple of things that I did that are not out yet that are going to be possibly be out
mm,
this year, I think, hopefully, you know what I mean. But last year I also dropped my single with vocalistic called Wilele, you
mm-hmm.
know. So in terms of music, I was not, well, none of us were silent. Like people were putting out music. I also put out music, but it
Mm.
was not such a productive year in terms of being out there pushing songs and gigging. It was a very tough year for a lot of people though.
Yeah, yeah, man, it was tough. Hopefully this year will be better. That's if Uncle Cyril doesn't have a meeting with us anytime soon.
Hey,
uh,
dog. Hey, dog.
Mapasika says C20 is my favorite. So, can you just tell Mapaseka, about the C20 project?
Yeah, like I told you earlier on, it was that song came about a lot of alcohol, a lot of
Yes, Mapaseka,
alcohol.
you
Yeah,
missed it. You missed it earlier on. He was actually just talking about it. So
yeah, a lot of alcohol in that song, dog. Oh my goodness, bro, it was rough.
when is so let's talk visuals. When is Back to Love music video dropping?
I doubt there's ever gonna be a video for Back to Love because Back to Love is a song it's a title song from my album called Back to Love.
Mm.
So it's just one of those songs that has a lot of meaning to me, but I don't think I'm gonna release an actual video for the song. So yeah, I think I'll probably drop a video for a song called Banger, which is on the
Mhm.
album as well. Yeah, but with the way things are happening right now, because things are moving so slow in terms of label drops and whatever, it takes a very long time for major labels to put out the songs. By the time that they want to put out a new single from your album, you are already working on the next project. So right now, I'm really working on the next project. You know what I mean? Like I'm already there. So we'll see. We'll see what type of visuals that we get from the album. But
Mm.
I'm not sure that Back to Love is going to be one of them. But I love the song. I love that song. I love the song a lot.
Yeah, yeah, Melvin is loving the song too. So, Ish, I don't know. Maybe guys sign a petition and send to the label. You know, if you want the video to be out, I guess. So yeah, man. Finally, I don't want to keep you here too long.
Yeah,
Obviously it's March 2021 now. We
yeah,
still, we don't know what's gonna happen. The country can be shut anytime. It's kind of
Yeah.
tricky, for people to plan. But in your head, how do you project the year being like moving forward?
I think regardless of the current situation, I do believe that it's going to be a great year. There's I look. I've seen how fortunate some of us are. In terms of getting bookings and whatever. I mean, look, we are still under level one, right? We're still under lockdown regulation. Establishment or clubs are they still have to close down before 12. But you might find that artists are averaging 10 gigs this weekend. You know what I mean? I also have 10 gigs this weekend, and it's actually crazy how many gigs you can get with such a short period of time. Like you can see that there's a possibility that it might be a great year, regardless of of the pandemic. But you know, let's just pray. Let's just actually pray for a better outlook. I hope so. I hope so. I hope it's a great year, though. Don't you wish that it's a great year, my boy?
Hey man, look, I'm hoping that things are gonna get better now moving forward. Because yeah, we're
Mm.
all hoping that things are gonna go back. Obviously, they won't go back to normal, but at least if things can open up a bit more. To be honest with you, in my opinion, I think things are fine the way they are right now. If we can
Yeah,
just maintain, how things are right now, up until we get to a point where everybody's vaccinated. You know what I mean? I don't want us to go immediately back to normal. I think if we can just keep it, the things the way they are right now for at least another year, I think
yeah,
everybody will be fine. You know what I mean?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've got two more questions for you, bro. Two last questions
Okay,
for you.
no problem, no problem, no problem.
Um, okay, let me just get Tshepo's question. He says, please play that unreleased track, Yabo Low Keys. Yo, Tshepo, that's a big demand, bro.
Hey, I wonder which track he's talking about. Like the low keys have so many unreleased tracks, you don't understand. There's just too many. You have no idea which one is Tepo. I have no idea which one Tepo was talking about. But if it's from the low keys, it's probably a banger. It's probably one of those songs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. My last question from you is, bro, like, um, because you are so unpredictable, right? So now, obviously, we know
Mm,
Amapiano is like trending. You're a soulful guy. What do you think
yeah.
is the next big thing in terms of like subgenre of house music after Amapiano?
I think personally for me, there's two ways that it can go. And
Mm,
there's only two ways that it can go. It can go back to where we know or what we know as house music, which is the more soulful. So if you think about old school music, old school when you think about Crossroads, Touch the Sky type of situation. That's where it
mm,
can go back. It can go back to that real music, with proper vocalists because you can see it. You can almost see it. Like producers are putting more effort into vocals right now. Like there's a lot of
mm,
vocalists that are coming up.
mm,
So it can go either that way or it can go more electro. Amapiano with fused with a lot more electronic sounds, that Afro tech. That's where it can also go.
mm,
So those are the only two ways. I don't think it can go anywhere else. But personally, I hope it goes back to the vocals, because that's where some of us came up, and that's our playing field. Right now, we are just trying to play catch up. Like there's a lot of great producers right now, crazy
mm,
producers, dog, that you can't even try and say you are competing against. The
mm,
only thing you can do right now as a producer is just to stick to your ground, like stick to what you know, stick to something that you are accustomed to. It's very difficult to now try and do something because you hear that it's popular, and I think that might be the downfall for a lot of producers because a lot of producers come up thinking that no, I need to create this sound because it's the current sound, not
mm,
forgetting that if you blow up because of the current sound, what are you going to do when it stops or when it changes? There's nowhere else you can go. So
mm,
you will basically die out just like the genre. You must always, always think about, the future or do something that you know that you can do regardless of whether it's a subgenre or if it's a genre of, you know what I mean? Like, it must be something that you truly, 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 truly are getting, that are in love with, and something that you can play. Because a lot of people like making music, but a lot of people don't like playing their songs, and I'm also guilty of it. So you can't be making songs that you can't play. You can't play definitely as a as an artist or as a DJ. Do you understand what I mean? You need to make
Yeah.
music that you can play.
Yeah, these are dope insights, man. And but just from me, just to add on what you say, I love where the
Mm.
industry is right now, because everybody is like, South Africa is exporting so much dope music. Like, it's so, like, it's rare that you'll hear someone release a terrible song, you know.
Yeah,
But it might not be the best, but it's definitely not bad, Whether it's deep
yeah,
house,
like
Afrotech, whether
yeah,
you know what I
no,
mean. And I
yeah,
love where
no.
it is right now.
It's crazy, man. Like South Africa, in terms of talent, when it comes to production, is amazing. Like, well, even vocalists. Like, I think we have some of the most craziest vocalists and writers ever. You know, and it's unfortunate that some people might not necessarily get the shine that is due to them. You know, and it's not because of anything. Like, people always like saying that Mamang is underrated. Mamang is underrated, and it's just unfortunate because that's how the music industry is. You know, we can all shine, but we can't shine equally at the same time. There needs to
Mm,
be, like, it's like a give and take. You know, there's like seasons. So
mm,
it's your turn now. You get to shine, and we should appreciate you because tomorrow it might be who, you know. And a lot of people, well, a lot of artists can't take that because sometimes what happens is that you have a dip in your career, and we all have that dip. You can't be popular forever. There's gonna be time where you feel like your music is not getting across as it should,
mm.
you know. But it shouldn't really hamper your drive, you know. Like, it shouldn't really delay you, or it shouldn't put you down and for you to feel like, no, actually, let me let go of this music thing, you know. It's
Mm.
just at that moment, it's just you giving other people more shine or space to shine. Yours is still coming.
I agree with you, man. Like, you can't all shine at the same time. We must, and also just be patient with your craft, whatever it is that you do. And that's a very important
Yeah,
message that people must
yeah.
understand, that, like, sometimes it's not that, actually, a lot of the time, it's not that, like, people are not talented. It's just that,
Mm.
it's the time for somebody else to shine, or a group of people. Your time will come, you know?
Yeah, it'll definitely come. It'll definitely come.
I can't ignore the question of people asking about Welele. Like, there's so much Welele remix, Welele. Like, people want to know, is
Oh,
there going to be
snap.
a...
Yeah. I don't like, I've never thought about it. It's something that I never thought about, but now that they're mentioning it, I might actually do it. I might actually do something like that, you know? Like,
Mm, mm.
it's not something that I have, it's not something that I've considered, but it's something that I can do. It's not impossible.
Okay.
We can have a remix for it, you know? It's not possible. It's not impossible.
Okay, guys, I promise this is the last question, guys. The interview has gone a bit long now. I was keeping for 20 minutes. We've passed that. So this is the last question from Nonku. When are you
Yeah.
making a song with Lady Zamar again?
Yo, I have no idea.
Mm,
I have no idea. I have no idea. And the reason why I have no idea is because I cannot predict the outcome of that situation. You
mm.
know, I have no idea where she's at mindset because she has always had a tendency to do other music. She wants to do this, she wants to do that. So I have no idea when that's gonna happen, if ever it's gonna happen. I really have no idea, but only time will tell.
Mm, mm. Yeah, no, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, man,
I have nothing.
keep blessing us with dope music. And just keep doing your thing. I'm closing the Q&As now. And thank you, Siyabonga, ne?
All right, no doubt, my boy. I got you. One love.
Sharp, sharp.
Boy.